Yo, what's up? Empty world, and now, not an empty world. This is 760 abandoned camp structures that I've just spawned in front of me. This is one of the feature changes in this snapshot, but there's an even bigger change I want to talk about though. We've sort of neglected to mention that slowly but surely, Mojang have been including the new features to be inside of these abandoned camps. So we have straw beds here, we've got cushions, whatever this thing is. Overall, just plenty of new variants that we haven't really gone over. So Mojang have definitely put a lot of work into this. I just wish there was more functionality to it, perhaps adding some sort of archaeology dig sites to them, maybe buffing the loot pool a little bit, even adding some colored wool, not just white. Also, Mojang should really think about updating the Woodland Mansion to have red wool stairs. Don't think it's gonna break anything. It's not gonna change the flammability rating of this building at all. There's enough wood and wool to go around already, so that's worth taking a look at. There is also a new invulnerable time data tag. So let's say I give a pig invulnerable time of 100, which is 5 seconds or 100 ticks. This pig will be invulnerable for about 5 seconds. You can see I can't hit it until that timer wears off. I can finally hit the pig. Now I've done a bit of testing and there's a little bit of copium about all of this, which I totally understand. There's an immense desire for a new mob inside this new biome, even though it's kind of small. But hey, even if we don't get a new mob here, a new boss would be a more than adequate replacement. Because if you remember, if you summon a wither boss, the moment it's summoned, you can't hit it. That's because it's regenerating a health bar. It's going to be invulnerable during that time. Except if you look really deeply at it, the wither boss does not actually get the invulnerable tag whatsoever when it's regenerating. So the new invulnerable time tag has absolutely nothing to do with the wither. As far as I'm aware, this is used to prevent mobs or any item from dying to a lightning bolt, and I'll show you why. So this is a skeleton horse trap that I'm going to summon. So there it is. The game is frozen right now, and I'm going to tick step it. That's when the lightning bolt is summoned, and now the skeleton trap is about to come out. Within this time, if I grab the invulnerable time information, you'll notice they have about 3 seconds of invulnerability within which they cannot be hit or damaged by the lightning bolt. If I tick unfreeze for a little bit, you can see they're not damaged at all. But why now? Well, the reason is there is another item that you might know that needs this invulnerable time tag, and that is the cushion. So once again, I'm going to spawn a lightning bolt at the cushion. Tick step. Now you can see the item has dropped and it is still within the lightning bolt's range. There's also fire here, so the cushion can definitely still be damaged. So we'll get the info and you can see the cushion now has an invulnerable time tag of 20 ticks or 1 second. So as it flies right out, giving it ample time for the cushion to fly right out of the damage range and can then be picked up safely. So unless you think the cushion is a new boss, it's a super dangerous mob. The invulnerable time tag has nothing to do with a new boss that's coming to the game. Or that's what I think anyway. Now, there's an even more important topic to talk about here. This may not apply to you, but it's actually kind of important. I am back on 26.2 very briefly. What's really funny is that I've placed all of these abandoned camps and now all of them are gone. The wool stairs have disappeared and left behind a patch of dirt. Kind of funny to look at. However, there have been a lot of changes recently regarding world options. This is not really to do with the open to land feature, but it may be to do with the friends system. Now, this really hasn't been pushed a whole lot lately. People can't join your world at the moment. It's been disabled. However, one major criticism has been the default game mode system. So if I quit out of the game, you can see that the default game mode is creative. And if I go and switch it to survival mode and go back, suddenly the default game mode for the world is survival, which essentially changes everyone's game mode to survival who joins, which makes no sense because all I want to do was change my own specific game mode to survival. This also happens if I do /game mode, let's say spectator, and then if I quit out, all of a sudden the default game mode is spectator. Open to land, default game mode is spectator mode. This change made no sense. Like, what does this do now? So back on the latest snapshot, all the wool stairs are gone. Wait, let me replenish. There we go. I did this on stream and people were like, Phoenix, make a data pack video. If you ever want a data pack tutorial video, let me know and let me know what you want to learn. Anyway, now let's see what happens in the current snapshot. So if I do this and use F3, F4 to change, let's go to adventure mode. Let's quit out. You can see it no longer changes the default game mode of the world. Thank you, Mojang. Let's go back to creative. Let's quit out. It's still survival mode. Finally, Mojang have disconnected this F3, F4 switch. It no longer impacts the default game mode of the world. It's still survival. This is the brand new world options screen. You can see we have restrictions here. Edit game rules. You can now do all of this. You can switch the default game mode over here. And restrictions is a funny one. So I want to ask you guys, if you're from the UK and you have not verified your ID, what the heck does it say over here? I have it all in green. You can send chat messages. You can send commands. You can receive system messages from server. You can receive messages from player. players. Hold on, let me try something. You can communicate outside of Xbox with voice and text. I'm going to block this, and I'm going to block this as well. Log in. Okay, so I've noticed that this doesn't change. You can still do this in your single player world because it's single player. I can't be restricted from talking to myself, but let's go onto a multiplayer server like this one. The cushion riding a sulfur cube. I can't remember doing that. And then I go into world options here, restrictions. You can see your chat is restricted from profile settings. You can't send chat messages, you can send commands, you can receive system messages, and you can't receive messages from players. This is purely because I did this in the Xbox settings, but I think this screen is very useful, particularly if you are in the UK and you haven't verified your ID, or you don't know why you can't type anything in the chat. Once again, if you do want to bypass this, you can. We still have the no chat restrictions mod that still works by Zistrel, which I highly recommend if you have not verified your ID. Anyway, that's been snapshot 6 of 26.3. I think there are still many snapshots to go. Remember that Copper Age came out September 30 last year, and we're still at the toe end of July, so there's still a lot of time for things to actually occur. So I personally think this is not everything that we're getting. Stay tuned, subscribe.